Go ahead.
A very good afternoon, all. Again, I'm welcoming you all for the another live session. This is Dietitian Flora Amritha over here. Today, I'm going to talk about everything about the thyroid. So nowadays, and India has in the world, we have been suffering. We have been seeing like much more of thyroid issues. Like we have been almost 80. I mean, almost 60 to 80% of the women who have been hearing about the thyroid issues. Okay, so it's a condition where we can see the thyroid gland, either it might be the too or a too low or a too high amount of thyroid hormone. Okay, it's nothing but a thyroid diseases where it might be a lower in the side, where it might be the hormone production would be the lesser in the side. So the thyroid hormones have the role in the many functions of the body. If we have like it might be the two or it might be the low. So if we have the such in the functions of that, we can make it as the causes. It might be also where with the heart rate, the body temperature, and all the aspects of the metabolism as we have been seeing in the slide. So we it is the most prevalent as I was talking about. Mostly it is seen in the woman country. So it is the gland where it is that if we see into the structure of this, the thyroid gland is a butterfly-shaped organ where it contains of the two lobes. Okay, one is to the left and one is to the right, as we are into seeing to in the picture. So each of them, it might be a centimeters around the 5 centimeters long, around the 3 centimeters width. So it might be the usually in the women's it has been compared more with the men, and we can see from all the ages and also being to the woman as well as to the women. So it has thyroid gland, it is covered with the shield as well. So into the disease where we can look into the, there are two types of thyroid diseases where they are, as we have been hearing from the such a long time, like it can be a hyperthyroidism as well as the hypothyroidism. So first we look into the hypothyroidism. It is nothing but a disorder. It is where it is like an autoimmune diseases where it is a disorder which can thyroid gland does not produce enough thyroid hormone, okay, which cannot produce enough thyroid production, the hormone of the hormones what it is required to the body, which has does not provide a proper thyroid hormones. It can be a causes of the poor ability to tolerate the cold and cough, as well as it might be fatigue. The main causes of weight gain, depression, okay, and slower heart rate, the constipation, everything. It will be if we see into the symptoms. These are the symptoms where the hypothyroidism, which does not produce enough of the thyroid hormones. So occasionally, it has been seen in the form of in the near the neck. It is due to the goiter. So next, we see to the other type of the thyroid disease. It's nothing but the hypothyroidism. The hypothyroidism is a condition that can also causes the excessive production of the thyroid hormones by the thyroid gland. See, there is at all no production at all, as well as there is an excessive production. So there is a difference between the hypo and the hyper. So the signs and the symptoms of these hyperthyroidism the same. The sleeping problems again, the fast the heartbeat, just exactly opposite to the hypothyroidism. As we have been the weight gain and we have seen here the weight loss. Okay, so the enlargement of the thyroid gland and it might be the area, it might be the heart intolerance, the part of fastest heartbeat, as the sleep problems has been fatigue, muscle weakness, irritability, and many other causes also being seen in this hypothyroidism. So the main causes it might there is a less production as well as the excessive production where we have to know that today like what is the main cause of this the production of the hormone where we need to know that how the thyroid hormones will get produced. So the Hashimoto's is diseases, it's nothing but the autoimmune diseases. Okay, so the autoimmune diseases which can affect the body cells can damage the thyroid glands. Okay, that is nothing but the autoimmune diseases. And the excess of iodine deficient, I mean the iodine deficiency also is to be known where if in the body, if you have the iodine deficiency, that can also be cause of the hypothyroidism, the over response of the hypothyroidism treatment. And if we see into that, the radiation therapy is there, then thyroid surgery can be done. The medication is the number one priority where we have to look into, and the pituitary disorder and the pregnancy. So it can cause not only in a right from a small age group, but also we have the from a born baby as well as to the geriatrics. Is this it is not the age, like any age can also be developed by the thyroidism. It is an autoimmune disease or the mainly especially we have to know that it is not a particular age, as now almost 80% of the women as well as even men has been suffering with this hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism. So as mainly we have to look into like what to include. Okay, so many of the clients who have been, many of the patients who have come to me, and number one question is like every day morning we have to take a thyroid tablet. So what are the foods to be avoided and what are the foods to be taken? That is the number one where we are looking into the, as per the dietitian, you will need to know about it. So we have to include like foods which are mainly contains the iodine foods, the selenium foods, and the zinc. We have to include it in our daily basis, like where you can add it about. See, like what kind of thyroidism are you into? Okay, according to the test, you have to know about the test. Okay, so we have to know like. Foods which we have to consume where you can get enough amount of the iodine, selenium, and the zinc where you can include in our plant-based sources where the food where we get from. So you have to the iodine rich foods contains like cheese, milk, like iodized table salts and whole eggs can be included, which are rich source of the iodine. And the selenium contains like hazelnuts, beef, and the turkey, chicken, eggs, like non-veg, and the brown rice, oatmeal, which also helps into increase the selenium content. And so also the zinc is also most important. So where you get in mostly nuts, the seeds, where nowadays we have been telling to have a lot of zinc and magnesium. The selenium, which has been most present in the seeds and nuts, where we have to legumes, the yogurt, and the oysters and the non-veg oils you can include it. As we are looking to the picture as well, as everything says that all right from the milk, the cheese, the non-veg, all the plant-based and animal-based, the sources where we have to include in our daily basis, which are more high in the number of iodine. The selenium and the zinc is the number one priority where you have to include it daily. So foods to be avoided mainly for the hypothyroidism. So the goitrogenic foods, goitrogens are the compounds that affect the thyroid functions in the person which consume for the large amount. See, mostly as we visit to the doctor, firstly the doctor tells to simply avoid the cabbage, cauliflower, or soya products or the spinach, which has to be the more the dietogenic foods, okay, that can affect your thyroid. That is what how we tell you to avoid the dietogenic foods which are specially present in the cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, all the cruciferous vegetables where you need to be avoided. As well as soya products. Either it might be the tofu, the soya milk, the soya chunks, has also the nitric compounds where it triggers, okay, where the medication gets triggers to absorb it, where you would not get a proper uh, amount of the thyroid glands to be produced. So that is why it inhibits it too. That is why we need to make a note of to be the foods to be avoided when you are into the medication and proper according to the values what we are. You have it. Okay, and the processed food, as everywhere the dietitians or the doctors tell you to avoid, the first one is to avoid the processed food. And it might be the fast food, it might be the cakes, the sodas, the zero calories which we are getting into the artificial sugars. It might be the unnecessary nutrients you're taking into the proper nutrients where you have to be on a check like what kind of nutrients you need to be taken on. So the processed foods and the complete crash diet, and everything is nothing but a crash diet where you have to be crashed out. So this is how where the foods to be avoided. So high sugars, high fat, I mean, the processed foods where you have to be avoided as well. So that is what where I was talking about the hypothyroidism. Now let me talk about the hypothyroidism, where again where it is completely opposite where I was talking about in the previous slide. It is like sleep low iodine foods, yeah, where there you have to include a proper iodine foods. Here you need to include a low iodine foods, where you have to go with not iodized foods, okay, where in this hyperthyroidism where you have been so many completely opposite symptoms, properly opposite causes where we have been seen. So that is why in the dietary instruction also as well, where you have to go into the opposite direction as well. So where in the hypothyroidism where you have to include iodine, there might be selenium and zinc. Okay, where now you have to contain a low content of iodine foods. Okay, non-iodized salts, maybe the egg whites, the tea, coffees, where you have to go with the sugars, might be the jellies and artificial sugars. I mean the alcohol, the fruits and fruit juices. It is the number one where it is low iodized foods which are has to be included. Okay, and the cruciferous vegetables where you can include in this hypothyroidism, where the sprouts might be the cabbage, the cauliflower, broccoli and all, where you can include happily in the hypothyroidism, okay, not in the hypothyroidism. The food containing the selenium as well, where you can be included. The foods containing the iron as well, you can include it in your daily foods. And to be avoided for the hypothyroidism is like iodine rich foods. See, again, I was talking about where you have to be, again, it's coming to the avoided, where you have to avoid iodine rich foods. Okay, dairy products, the egg yolk, the iodine supplements, again, the soya products, the caffeine and all, where you have to avoid it for the hypothyroidism. Okay, and the test to be done for the hypothyroidism function is like when you visit to the doctor, these are the tests, these are the normal ranges where you have to know about it. I mean, the T3 is nothing but 100 to 200 ng by dl, and T4 is like 4.6 to 12. Okay, and THS is like 0.4 to 4. So everything we see around the thyroid stimulating hormone is the ratio where we count around. So we, according to the ratios, we have to know that which kind of category into the hyper or hyper. So as everybody has the myths and myths, like it's a number one myth, like if you have a thyroid problem, you will be developing a goiter, enlarge the gland. So the majority of the people with the thyroid disease do not develop a goiter around your neck, which is seen in your neck side. So it is most of the patient doesn't people or does not form develop a goiter, but few of almost 30% to 40% can form a develop a goiter as well. So myths about the second myth is about the thyroid is only a middle age or old age woman have a thyroid problem. See, both as I was talking about, not only men, not only women, but both men and women can cause develop a thyroid condition at any age. Okay, at any age we have been seeing this thyroid above 60 or below 60. It have been seen nowadays. The thyroid disease can be affect your fertility in the pregnancy or after your delivery as well, we have been seeing. Okay, but mostly in the fertility cases, mostly in the pregnancy, your thyroid levels might raise up high. So that is why we have to put you on some medication. Okay, so that is how your hormonal imbalance would happen there. So that is why we have to put you on to the medication where you can be controlled to the medication by a proper food as well as a proper medication that should be continued in your daily basis. So this is how not only a particular age, not only a particular person has this thyroid problem, but anybody, anyone can affect the thyroid. So that is how where you have to know that what is it is to be managed, and it is how you have to maintain the thyroid. So it is everybody has a question like how to manage a thyroid, right? So it is manageable and through a very good lifestyle as well as healthy diet. See how you are, you have to know. So what kind of changes you have to do is that is the most number one priority where you have to look. What kind of a lifestyles you are being around? Are you feeling lazy, or you doesn't walk at all? You're sitting. Everybody nowadays, we are into a sedentary life. We have been sitting for the longer time. There is no physical activity at all. There is no proper diet. Online Zomatos and all, I've been sitting and ordering, and we're eating much. So we are nowadays being into a sedentary life. Yes. So that is how you need to know that for the body we need to go with a proper lifestyle changes should be made. That is how it is to be maintained by number one is like lifestyle modification is number one, and a proper healthy diet, that is number two. So the next is like I to manage the thyroid, I can tell you is the role of iodine. See, okay, we need a dietary iodine to synthesize the thyroid hormones. Yes, if we have iron deficiency in the body, you'll produce a low levels of the T4. Okay, so how iodine has been used every day, that can be included. Iodine is rich in, as well as I mean the fish. I mean the salt where you can use it, not any kind of preservatives. Not okay. The iodine is also being excessively used in a kind of pickles and all. It's not the preservatives where you have to, with good amount of salt, which the healthy way you have to have it a normal. I mean, 5 grams per day we can have include the iodized salt where you can include it. So the role of glycogenic foods, as I was talking about, many have been listening to that. Like, can we have a cabbage, cauliflower? My doctor has advised not to take a cabbage, cauliflower, spinach, um, like all the cruciferous vegetables, not to be consumed in the whenever you have a thyroid kind of. When you're into medication, see, yes, I was talking about in the previous slide, like it can hinder the production of thyroid hormones. Yes, but it can be taken the limitation. Okay, always the limitation is the number one. So you can be taken in the form of cooked way, not in they are inactive in cooking. So that is how we have to, not to have in a direct way, but you can cook it and you can have it in a limit form, but not when you're taking like everyday cabbage, cauliflower, spinach, if you're taking in that way, so that is not advised. But when you're into taking weekly once, twice, a cabbage or cauliflower once in a week or twice in a month, that can be advisable in the cooked form. Okay. So yes, you can happily have a cabbage, cauliflower, but not in a everyday basis, but into a limitation where you need to know about it. Okay, so yes, you can also include the dietogenic food, the cruciferous vegetables, and good amount of iodine, but as well as good lifestyle and healthy diet is number one, and other one is healing gut. See, gut is the number one, where the studies have shown that low thyroid hormones can lead to the leaky gut and the poor gut health. So you have to suppress the thyroid function, where you have to make your gut healthier, where you have to take about good amount of fiber rich foods, as well as you have to hydrate yourself well as you need to have a good amount of probiotic foods, where your gut makes you healthier. Okay, so always choose the probiotic foods. It might be the fermented foods, the idli batter, dosa, and curd, yogurt also can be included, and good amount of what I mean the water. Hydrate yourself well, and good amount of fiber-rich foods. Okay, this is how your bowel movements and the gut process will be good. So where you all the studies has been shown that the thyroid hormones have a low, where you need to have good amount of thyroid functioning as well. As I was talking about the selenium as well in the previous slide, the selenium rich foods, the minerals where the thyroid hormone production. Okay, the thyroid production, that thyroid from the damage cause the oxidative stress. The selenium is the main mineral which can cause and protect from the oxidative stress. Okay, so always make sure you have selenium rich foods, and which is available and in your I mean, meat products and the fish and few nuts can be available. These are the sources where you get the selenium there, and the thyroid contains high amount of selenium. Okay, and can deficiency can lead to the thyroid dysfunction as well. So make sure you have a selenium and keep your gut healthy so that it can be helpful for you. can it be reversed? Okay. Your medication, yes, medication is number one, where you have to take it every day. And few people will be having a query like, we need to take medication daily. Okay, once into the control, but still your value is into the control, but still you need to continue your medication or what? Yes, you need to take it into the according to your levels. Your doctor has to decide like what, how much mgr you have to consume it. Okay, but every day you need to take your supplement, I mean the thyroid medication, where it can be in a control the production and the thyroid hormones which has to be maintained. So that is how, if you don't take any medication, you might raise up like a rocket, your levels might raise up your like it skyrocket. So you need to, number one is like medication, where you have to be consult a doctor, and it has to be advised, and it should be taking it every day, where your thyroid hormone production will be like in a good control by making a lifestyle changes. Yes, good proper physical activity, where it really helps you, like whether it might be the weight loss, which really helps you in the in the production of the thyroid. Yes, where you have to make the, you might feel in the, when we have been seeing such causes and symptoms there, you might feel fatigue, you might be feel lazy in there over there. So number one issue is like medication and proper lifestyle changes is where you can reverse back with the normal thyroid functioning. Okay, the combination of healthy diet, good workout, and sleep. Yes, these are the three main important things where you have to follow it every day, like proper food, proper diet. I mean, the proper healthy diet, proper good physical activity, and good amount of sleep. Okay, 8 hours of sleep, good hydration, and the good balanced diet, and good and changes in your lifestyle changes. That is the good where you can maintain and balance your thyroid levels, which is the more important, which you can suspect all the autoimmune diseases, where it is most helpful by maintaining by yourself, by maintaining by yourself, that can be in a control, where you cannot either not cause with hyper and hypothyroidism as well. So this is how, as we have been talking about the thyroid, where you have to know like and you have to know like what the main priorities, the good lifestyle changes is number one, and other one is a proper medication and a good sleep, and good amount of balanced diet, where you get good amount of selenium, iodine, and all these are the where you have to include and to be avoided as well, where we have been seen. So this is how we have been seen today, and if you have any queries, let me know. What is the main cause of the thyroid problem? The main cause, that is how I've been talking about. It might be the thyroid, I mean, the functioning, the proper production. If there is no proper thyroid production, the hormones, that is how the cause, it might be the problems. It might be the cause, whether we have to know through it is the hypo and hypothyroidism. First, we have to know about it. According to that, as well, we have to know that what kind of thyroid are you are into, which category into you are. If you are hypothyroidism, if you are seeing the symptoms like weight gain, loss of hair, and dryness in your skin, and pigmentation, I mean, completely hormonal changes would cause there. I mean, if you see in the opposite direction, the hypothyroidism, where you will feel fatigue as well as weight loss would happen. So this is how thyroid problems can you can face through. Is the thyroid problem serious? Yes, it is a serious problem as well. We have to know about it, because there are so many signs and symptoms where we have been seeing in these slides over there. And first of all, you need to know like which category into, and you need to take a proper medication so that it can be reversed and you can maintain through the diet and the proper medication where it is you can maintain through that. Next query. What is the problem if we have a thyroid? Problems is like as like fatigue, weakness, weight gain, weight loss, and no proper sleep. These are all the signs of, I mean, the hair loss, the pigmentation, all the hormonal imbalances where you have been seeing. You have to know it. These are the problems where you'll be seeing in if you have a thyroid. Next query. What food is good for the thyroid? See, I just was talking about into the category as well. A good amount of hydrolyzed food, selenium, zinc, iodine, all these the foods, a good proper balanced diet according to your category. It is like hypothyroidism or the hypothyroidism, where foods to be in opposite direction, where few foods to be avoided in the hyper and few foods to be included in the hypo. So, according to your category, where you have to consult your doctor as well as dietitian, where she can help you out the foods. I mean, complete details where she can guide you through the foods to be avoided and foods to be included according to your thyroid levels as well. How do I keep my thyroid healthy? Yes, this is a good question again. You can keep your thyroid healthy by maintaining a good and a healthy lifestyle changes as well as a good balanced diet. A good food and a good physical activity is number one where you can maintain your thyroid healthy. Thank you for joining a live session here. And bye. And till we meet next time and meet you, see you back into by another topic. Thank you.